Okay. Hi. Okay, so I'm going to give a talk about Questhub. You might have heard about it as berekuk.org. It's called Questhub. I'll talk about it in a bit. First, a bit of background. My name is, I have no name. My name is Vyacheslav Matyukhin. I worked in Yandex for 7 years. I was a backend developer. I didn't do much content stuff. And I wrote some open source code, including, you might have heard about it, Ubik. And so last summer I wanted to write Ubik 2.0, but I couldn't get started. I'm a horrible procrastinator. I delay things a lot. I didn't know, I had doubts about whether anyone would care, whether anyone would use it, and if the stuff I want to do is needed at all. So I was looking for motivation. And so I had this idea of a website where people would, share their goals, publish stuff that they want to do, support each other, and give each other feedback on what they want to see released, like each other. One issue is that I didn't know much HTML, JS, CSS at the time, so I thought I couldn't do it myself, and we started a hackathon at Yandex. It was just for Yandex workers because Yandex has so many people that was enough, and so 7 people joined me. We wrote some code, we ate some pizza, we built some foundation for the thing that later came Questhub. So that was last October, and then in November 2012 I had more doubts. So I ran Perl community motivation circle. Let's see, how many of you know about it and participated in it? Okay, some of you. There were in total 201 participants. There were 20 creations, and there was a lot of stuff, and I posted it on blogs.org back then, and you can see on that link. But I'll show you just one question. Question was, given the amount of time you have now, would you contribute more if the environment, if the community was perfectly friendly, perfectly rewarding, and you knew that your actions made a great impact? And as you can see, most of the people answered shortly or probably. Note that given the amount of time you have, so it's not about having a perfect life when, I don't know, you don't have any other obligations, you have no kids, you have no family, and you just code. It's just about how friendly is the community, how rewarding is what you do. So, in February 2013, I took a vacation for 2 weeks and finished the code finally and launched the initial version called berekuk.org. I forgot to ask, how many of you have seen the website or registered? Where? Okay, let's try the inverse. How many of you don't know anything about it? Oh, great, great, great. So, one more thing, I liked it so much because, well, I don't know, people are different, and some people are more driven by feedback of other people, and other people are driven by, I don't know, fame, money, or just self-expression. But launching the berekuk was a great experience because many people joined it and posted their requests and commented on it and wrote great blog posts, which I won't quote here, but well, there was a lot of positive feedback. So it was exciting, and I decided to leave my job, at least for a while, and try to work it on full time, turning it into a startup. And then in June 2014 we got a new domain, Questhub. I'll explain a bit later why it is. Well, I can explain now because it's not just about Perl now. We have a Perl community there, and it's one of the most active ones, but it's not the only one. And I wrote some features in the last 2 months, and I'm planning to continue doing so. So this is about, this talk is mostly about vision and the idea behind it and why it exists and why it's useful. But it's also about Perl community in particular. And communities on Questhub are called realms, and this is about Perl realm. You can see there some stats, like we have 700 registered people and 900 guests, and I'll explain what 27 is a bit later. And it's about everything you want to do about Perl. So yes, this is a startup, and I have no idea what I'm doing with it, because when I'm saying it's a startup, it's just me coding alone in my room for now. I'm looking for people to join me, but no luck so far. And still I regret nothing, because it's a great experience. So, okay, enough about me. Now I'll talk about what can interest you. So, since some of you have no idea what it is, this is a basic workflow that we have. You create quests such as tasks, ideas on what you want to do. Whatever you want to do, you can put it out there if it's related to Perl. And if it's not related to Perl, you put it in a different realm. But doesn't matter, we are talking about Perl now. When everyone can see your quest, so everything you share there is public, and it's important that your to-do list here is public, but you don't just write it there so that you don't forget it, you write it there so that other people see it. When people see your quests, like them, comment on them, give them their feedback, and based on their feedback, well, you don't have to follow it, but it's usually a good idea to pick quests that you want to work on based on what you will hear from them. And when you complete quests and when you get the points, because Questhub is also gamified. But why would you want to do it? Now, most of the rest of my talk is about why. So, you can see Questhub is an intersection of 3 different concepts, and I think all 3 are important. At least the first 2 are important. I have doubts about the game part. But most importantly, it's, at the same time, it's a to-do list and it's a social network. Let's talk about social networks. Social networks optimize for, optimize for growth, obviously. So they optimize for the number of users, the number of views, the number of displayed ads, and they don't care much about anything else. They don't care if you post cats or funny pictures or links to use, just I don't know, exchanging links to use with each other. But what if we did it other way? What if we optimized for the amount of things done? What if we optimized for the sense of community? And what if we optimized for feedback and, fun? So, why I'm saying this? I talk to a lot of people about Questhub, and often people answer, so it's like Twitter but with likes. I think we are missing the point, because, well, yes, it's like Twitter, but the important thing is how it's different from social networks. The important thing is that it forces you to do meaningful stuff on it, not just post anything. And now about to-do lists, why you should have it and why I think most people should have it, maybe everyone. Why public to-do list is much more good than just private to-do list written in your notepad or whatever else. Well, first, it feels good to know that people care and it motivates you. Questhub is all about motivation, all about optimizing what you do by, letting you know that people care. Second, knowing about which exactly parts of what you're doing people care is helpful, because otherwise you sometimes get lost and do the wrong thing, or you do the thing that you think is important but nobody cares about. Next, public pre-commitment is a great productivity tool, at least again for some people, because some people, I guess, can get demotivated if they post stuff and when they feel like they already did it and they don't do it at all. But on the other hand, it's really a productivity tool because first of all, you know that people care, and second of all, you feel that you have to do it now when you talked about it out loud. They know that you promised it in some sense. Next, well, it's not just about Questhub, but obviously if you have clearly defined goals, it will help you to be more productive, do much higher quality stuff. Most people don't plan their lives enough, I guess. Well, next point is pretty much the same. You feel that there's a value to your goals and it's motivating too. One more detail, I think it's important thing about Questhub is that it tightens, it shortens, it makes simpler feedback loops. You do stuff and when you get feedback faster, cheaper, more immediately. So again, you know that people care, you know that it's possible, you know that your solution is sane because, well, you could choose a wrong idea or you could choose a wrong solution. And the usual workflow on Questhub is that you write your goal and when you comment on it as you go and other people see how you work and they can tell you what's wrong, or maybe vice versa, they can learn from how you're working. So figuring it faster and cheaper is the key, and note that likes are extremely cheap. So again, some people think about likes as a meaningless thing, but very good, very form of feedback, and important thing is they're very, very cheap for other people to give. And well, starting from your goals is a natural thing, because you know how on IRC, yes, and or wherever else, you are asking a question, somebody is asking a question, or maybe on LinkedIn, right, or on Stack Overflow. And when somebody who knows the answer, they see that it doesn't make sense what people are asking because they're deep inside their problem and they are not sure. They are lost in their solution and stuff. And when you could also blog about your ideas, but blogging is expensive because you have to write a lot of words, you have to think it through, and well, most people have this writer's blog, right, to the blogging. And now about fun. I am moving to the third circle, right, game part. Well, Questhub is about productivity and about motivation, but it's about fun too, because, well, I don't know if people can be productive if they don't like what they're doing. Fun is a very complicated thing, and where is a model of it which explains that there are four kinds of fun: easy fun, hard fun, people fun, and serious fun. And Questhub can help you with some of them. I don't know if it can help you with serious fun, because, well, serious fun is when you are already motivated to do something. But it really helps with people fun, because, well, it's all about community. And easy fun can be fair too. And one important thing about fun is that fun is about communities. You can't have much fun in a single-player game where you just interact with yourself and get meaningless game points. So fun comes from communities, but it also depends on mechanics. For example, before GitHub, open source existed, but the barrier to entry to it was much higher. And now when GitHub has pull requests and easy way to do some things. These patterns of behavior emerge from the community, and people get adjusted to it and start behaving in different ways. So mechanics of the website or the game of any system can affect how we do stuff. One more point about games. I don't know how many people know who this is. This is Jane McConical. She is studying the idea that games can change the world in meaningful ways, can make us more productive, can make life much better. This talk, it's a TED talk as you can see, was a big inspiration for me, so I suggest you look at it because it's great. And gamification, of course, can be good and it can be evil because, well, you all know World of Warcraft, where people get meaningless points because they're sucked into this alternative reality. But why I think it can also be good because, well, it all depends on what our game points mean, what our game mechanics mean. Because if we attach meaning to game points, for example, Questhub attaches meaning to points by, well, associating them with stuff you do, and with how many people want to see what you do. I guess I should explain here that Questhub gives you as many points as many people like your quest. So if 10 people like your quest, you get 10 additional points. And why points are good, also why you can just do stuff. Because I think it's an optimization task. If you have many goals, then they're each on different scale and you don't know which one you want to do, because this one is easier, this one is about one project and this one is about another, and sometimes you can choose, you get lost in all your options. And if you just optimize your life for points, and if we figure out the best way how to express the value of our tasks with points, when you can just first dump all your ideas there, and then just choose the task which will bring you more points and have fun. And of course there was also Perl, Masak, I don't know how to read that, who wrote a blog post on a similar topic, how Perl 6 is mmcleric, and how there are different professions there, different roles. Some people are warriors, some people are healers, some people are wizards. Okay, that's all I have to say today about games. And now one more point about planning. Before I started Questhub, I was a software developer, but I was also a Scrum Master in our team at Vyacheslav. So I thought a lot about planning, about agile processes, about optimizing what we do through visualization and other things. And what I found out, well, open source has no project managers, right? Everyone do just what they want to do. Well, it's great and it's fun, but also companies, well, they can be slower and they can be more productive because they have centralized synchronization, centralized opinions about what they should do. And I'm not saying that open source should be dictated from some kind of benevolent dictator, not always. But there are scalability issues. Companies don't scale because there's too much bureaucracy, there's too much specialization, and trivial tasks get high latency because you have to pass them through many steps of different people who do their own part of work. While open source communities, right, and all other communities which are decentralized are not scaling well because of lack of communication most because we don't talk enough to each other, because somebody invents something and then somebody else reinvents it again, and everyone writes his own version of the same software. And of course, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's great, and it helps us move forward. It's evolution, I guess. But also, maybe we could do better. And one application of this idea that we could borrow some techniques from Agile and Scrum and something else is this one. In Scrum, you have backlog of all your tasks, and you sort it with your team, or usually product owner sorts it himself. But we can do the same thing in open source because there is no one to sort it. But if we have Questhub where people are liking some quests, well, we can just sort them by the number of likes and figure out which thing is demanded more. Which quests people like more. And so this is my ultimate Questhub dream, one of them. Is that Questhub to big companies and to agile centralized management processes would be like Git to SVN. So that, well, decentralized engine for optimizing decentralized communities in a way that will achieve the best result. We are not quite there yet, of course, but I have some ideas on what to improve, and well, this idea of sourcing backlog is one of them. One more different thing is it's about one feature that appeared on Questhub recently. Feature is called stencils. It's templates, preset templates of quests which you can take on. This idea is about reuse. Right? So different people do similar tasks often, and they have to figure out the best way to do these tasks, each one on their own. They usually use Google, they find the blog posts on the topic. I don't know, maybe you want to upload new C1 model, or you want to do Yamsi talk. And so stencils are reusable quests. You can write your own quest on Questhub, or you can choose it from the library of quests. And we got 27 of those for Perl, starting from subscribe to Perl Wiki, which, I don't know, 20 people did it so far, to adopt a C1 model. So, what should you do with Questhub? You would dump all your plans there. You could take stencils. You could subscribe to Perl realm and just follow it and what's going on there. You could look through people's quests. You could like them and encourage each other to do stuff, help the community. It's the cheapest way to help our community, I guess, because it takes seconds for you to like quests and people know that you care. You could become a role keeper. This is a moderation role. It's people who in the future will, I don't know, maybe help people to help newbies. They also create new stencils and maybe, I don't know, sort stuff out, doing the keeping. And there are also group quests. So you could create a quest and then invite someone to join you, and when they join you, you do the quest together, and then both of you get points. So it's a win-win situation. You don't split them. Each one of you gets the same amount. Now on examples. By the way, I think I should take a quest now and maybe complete it, because I have a stencil for, we have a stencil for Yamsi talk. Sorry.
They're the worst.
Выше.
Sure. I think it was.
They're
Yeah, right. I was looking for Yapsi, but we changed it recently to give it talk at any Perl conference. And by the way, this is a wrong tab, it's my local host, so I have to go here. So that you could like it right now while I'm talking and give me more points. So yeah, here it is, and I'm taking this quest, and here's my core versus quest. And well, I'm not finished yet, but I guess I will succeed, so I'll just press complete. I'm cheating right now because I should post a link to my slides first. I think. Well, I'll do it later. Somebody. Okay. You already liked it. Where to talk? I have some examples of what happened so far. Here are 3 best completed quests. Well, Andy, I forgot his last name, Bedance, released Act 2.0, how many of you know? And he got 33 likes, and so 34 points, and he's number 6 in overall leaderboard, even though he hadn't came back since then. Second, 2 people, I know that this is not the entire dancer team, but these are people who were present at Questhub at the moment. Did Dancer 2 quest. And new bowlers, new B, standardized changes file in 20 C-plan distributions. Actually, there is a backstory behind this task because it's a long story and it's still going. Neil took this task when he asked people to upload him, and he promised that he'd do 1 more change for each like. When he also created a stencil and other people joined him and created their own quests, and these are not all quests on this topic, there are many other people who are working on the same. And now the last line is the most epic quest ever because it's Neil and Sergey Romanov promised to do 269 distributions to convert them to the standard spec. And so far they did 50, I guess 53. And the total we already, I didn't participate, did 73 distributions, which is quite a lot. Next, well, John Napkowski, I don't know, when just the entire Catalyst backlog on Questhub, and he regularly posts blog posts with link to it, and people are coming and liking his quests, and so he uses it as a smaller community inside Perl for sorting out which tasks are demanded by people. We also have tasks like this, where Tobinster is planning to assassinate, to kill through either or Barbin to get in the top 5 in another campaign. He still hasn't completed this task, so be careful. And well, there are lots more examples. There are people who are liking method C-plan modules, and they get 1 point per 10 modules. There are people who subscribe to berekuk, as I said, and many other stencils which nobody tried yet. And now that's pretty much all about vision. I hope I covered most important points. A couple of words about technology. Questhub is completely open source, even though it's a startup, and I hope to get some money from it later. The code is entirely open. There are a lot of stuff. It's powered by Dancer, by MongoDB, but it's really front-end heavy, whereas Backbone.js, Bootstrap, CoffeeScript, and when there's Perl modules Ubik and Flux, which I wrote, and when it uses Chef and Vagrant for deployment. I don't know why I don't use React. Maybe I should try it. And if you are interested in any of these technologies, come and talk to me, because this is not a technology talk, but I just wanted to show what's in there. And we also have API. API is free for reading if you don't have an account, and if you have an account you can get a API token, and the API covers pretty much everything because, well, it's the same backend. The other backend just generates JSON, and your web browser uses the same API as you would use if you want to use API. But there are rules, so don't forget to read that link, and please don't spam. But, well, I think it won't be a problem. That's all about tech, so a couple of words about future and what I'm going to do with it. There are lots of tiny tasks, so I can't link them here. They are small, but there are very many of them, and so I'll just cover big points. I hope Questhub can become RT or GitHub alternative for reporting your bugs, for storing all your tasks, because, well, it's a generic task tracker, even though it doesn't have many tracking features so far. It has text, and you can drag and drop your quests to sort them out, but it's not much. Well, there are some things I want to do about it. Next, it would be interesting to create stencil collections for newcomers, when people could do several quests in a row, progressing from one point to another, and learn Perl that way, while doing something useful for everyone. And, well, of course, we need badges, achievements, which we don't have yet, and I hope we will soon. And now, as I said, Questhub is not just about Perl. We have 7 realms so far, and I'm looking for new communities to bootstrap because, well, I can't just create a new community and expect people to come there, so we need someone to bring the initial portion of people there, and so they could start interacting, because it's quite lonely if you are there just by yourself. So if you have an idea, come talk to me or email me, and let's do it. And there's a lot of quests, and they're all in meta realm on Questhub. You can go there and upload tasks when you like. And I'm going to continue working on Questhub at least until the end of the year. And then I don't know if I'll go back to my old job, or more probably I'll stay and try to turn it into a big startup and take over the world. So that's all. That's me on the left. That's Neil Bowers, who helped me a lot with this talk and Questhub. And there's Twitter, subscribe to it. And that's pretty much it. And do you have any questions?
I have several questions actually, so we can go around and come back to me if you want. One of them is, do you have an incentive for points besides just having points? Like on Stack Exchange, you get privileges, you can start commenting and have all these powers that you wouldn't have before.
Yeah, no. Okay, the question was, what's the meaning of points? Is there any incentives like on Stack Overflow? The answer is, so far, no, and I agree that points as they are now were not working very well, because at first you can do it just to go up in the leaderboard, but we need more mechanics on that, such as, yes, badges, yes, maybe new privileges, and graphs, fun graphs which show you how you progress. Yes, it's all in place.
Oh, yeah, if it's possible to to my quest, to my task, but if you do not want to do it yourself, maybe someone can take it and do it for you if somebody wants to practice maybe some technology or something like that. Is it possible?
Yes, it is possible. When you create a quest, I didn't cover many technical features because everyone can go and see one for themselves. But yes, when you create a quest, you have many options. You can just abandon it and it means you don't want to do it, or you can leave it, and when it becomes unclaimed, so nobody is on that quest at this point, but anybody can choose it and take on it and do it and get points and all likes that this quest comes. So any quest can have from 0 to as many as you want participants on its team. The size of team is usually 1, but it can be 0 and it can be 10. Next.
Yeah, are the likes public? Like, can I see who liked my quest, or is it just a number?
Yes, the question is, are likes public?
Yeah.
Yes, likes are public. You can see the list of people who liked you. At least you can see the first fan. The other are hidden behind the comma now, but I will fix it.
Okay.
In addition to my previous question, if there needs some permission from initiator of quest to get other people joined to the quest, if maybe if it's 0 workers, if it needs some commitment of creator or not?
No, if you unclaim your quest, if you left it and if team is empty, anyone can take it. If you are already on a quest, then for people to join, you have to invite them, and then they can join.
Okay.
So can you have a maybe list, like quests that you might do someday that doesn't imply commitment? Or does every quest you create imply I'm going to do this?
Okay, the question was, can I have a maybe list?
Yeah.
And the answer is, well, I guess most creators are maybe. Yes, I said that it's a pre-commitment tool, but it doesn't have to be.
Right.
If I want the quest to be a strong pre-commitment, I write in its description that I will abandon it if I want to do it for a week, and when I have to abandon it, and so I have to choose. But most quests, yes, you can keep them for months, you can sort them down to the list, and on top you will have things that you want to do, and below you will have things that you're not sure yet. Yes, or you can take them as maybe, and
right.
So mark them this way. Last question.
Do you plan to search
Search?
for quests, or it's just me that they can help?
Okay, the question was about search. No, search is not implemented yet, and yes, it should be. It's in place. There is a quest on Meta Realm which you can like and make me do it faster. Okay, maybe we have time for one question, maybe not. Okay. Thank you.